Every day is a journal page. Every man holds a quill and ink.
Algeria consists of a dry climate and contains the heart of the world's largest desert, the Sahara. In Algeria, there are vast droughts and the travel for trade is very difficult in the desert. It's very hard for one to survive economically, and although it is hard to live, the people of Algeria show that it is possible. There are an excess amount of oil and gas lines in Algeria. This mass production of waste generates a lot of pollution, and bad farming conditions have caused vast amounts of soil erosion. This is contaminating the water supply that 83 to 95% of Algerians are supplied to. These conditions are endangering the lives of the Algerian people and do not allow citizens in some areas to access drinkable water and live in healthy, sufficient conditions. However, as a role in the community, Algeria is consistently pumping mass amounts of oil and selling it to other neighboring countries. Thus, Algeria is mostly taking the hit for all of these issues and are not necessarily bothering the rest of the world. Also, the oil is a vital resource that is scarce these days, and Algeria could make lots of money by exporting it. Unfortunately, only 82% of those living in rural areas have access to improved sanitation, therefore leaving 18% of the people without access to the sanitation and leaving them in unsanitary places. Thankfully, there are plenty of physicians, nurses, and dentists in Algeria. According to the World Bank, Algeria is making progress towards its goal of reducing half the number of people without sustainable access to improved drinking water and basic sanitation by 2015. In addition, the government is maintaining an immunization program, trying to help the unsanitary places, making Algeria a cleaner place. Although the sanitation may not be perfect right now, the government is working to improve it, and money invested can go to resources to help clean the country. Specifically, the money from exporting the oil and gas could help clean the country, and we can create more jobs for people to help clean, which not only improves the sanitation but decreases the unemployment rate as well. The downside to Algeria's currency is that $1 is equal to 77.6 Algerian dinars. The Algerian dinar is therefore inflated, so an exchange from Algerian money to US dollars is poor. On the bright side, the current gross domestic product of Algeria is $159.7 billion. This is a benefit to Algeria because having such a high GDP represents that they are using their expenses in a beneficial way, and they are exporting goods to other countries more than they are importing. Algeria was declared a republic where the legislative, executive, and judicial branches were established, and anyone above the age of 18 is allowed to vote. Algeria has the rights of equality and the system of checks and balances, and this shows how similar Algeria is to the United States, and it means great opportunity and freedom is showed among these people. This similarity resulted in the two governments having a strong connection with each other and are treated equally. Thus, the vast economic and social opportunities Algerians possess contributed greatly to society. The lack of excess power among the government has prevented any further genocides started by the French and allowed the federal government to work together and focus on a country that is admired by the people and benefits their citizens.
Trade in Algeria is tough, especially with the harsh climate and lack of automobiles and computers. The Tuareg have a system in which they travel around the country, leaving their resources in a spot for their partners to find and give them something in return. Thus, the Tuareg have developed a way to survive the harshness of the desert climate and prove that the Sahara is possible to navigate, and although it is difficult to do, it is still possible. But the money invested and made by the government can easily be used to buy cars and other tools for easier trade, making the trade and the economy more successful.
Unfortunately, unemployment particularly affects the young, with the jobless rate of 21.5% among those of ages between 15 and 24. Steps to encourage employment help lessen the problem, but measures are needed to readdress the job supply. National priority should be given to making education more democratic and extending vocational training in higher education. Luckily, only about 5% of the adult population is illiterate, and the literacy rate is 69.9%. Although those between ages of 15 and 24 are having a difficult time receiving jobs, it is now required for children between 6 and 15 to go to school. Therefore, more Algerians are learning and more people can get jobs.
The development of tourism in Algeria had previously been restrained by a lack of facilities, and only about 200,000 tourists visit Algeria annually due to the poor hotel accommodations. But the Algerian government has set a goal to increase the amount of tourists, and since 2004, a broad tourism development strategy has been produced, resulting in many hotels of a high modern standard being built. At this point in time, more hotels are being built, trying to get tourists to come to Algeria. So, if you were to invest in Algeria, as time passes, more visitors will come and more money will be spent on resources, helping the economy.
Algeria has had a rough patch with leadership. This is because after France had established an unequal balance of power of a government in Algeria, they made the vast majority of the Algerian population have no power in anything. This meant that Arabs were not only prevented from having a voice in the government, but they were also incapable of contributing to the nation economically. Instead, the ruling of France concentrated on bringing in thousands of French people into Algeria and focusing its economy on the industries within the communities. As a result, most Algerians were essentially ignored, which did not allow the agricultural benefits of Algeria to continue, reducing profit and caused serious economic damage and social tensions in Algeria. In January 2012, the debt was $486 million, and Algeria's great amount of natural resources allows it to develop economically, and the decreasing national debt will add on to this reducing number in the future. 14% of Algeria's labor force is employed in the agricultural sector that produces products such as wheat, barley, and oats. Algeria has the greatest amount of oil and gas throughout northern Africa as well, boosting its economy. All of these resources help Algeria because they are in high demand. Therefore, there is lots of trading going on. Now, Algeria's economy can be increased with better industries and allow agricultural benefits if money was invested.
So why should you invest in Algeria? Well, there are many necessities Algeria needs right now. But if you were to make an investment, the money can go to infrastructure, resulting in an increase in trade and tourism. In order for this to happen, the money invested can go to the Algerian cement company, in which they could pave roads and it could increase travel for trade and tourism. Also, the government remains committed to economic liberalization and continues to seek foreign investment in sectors such as the infrastructure and water supply. There have also been developmental project designs in transportation and infrastructure. The president of Algeria announced that his 5-year plan between the years of 2009 and 2014 would include an increase from $120 billion to $150 billion in spending to improve national infrastructure, create 3 million jobs, and build 1 million new homes. Therefore, if you were to invest in Algeria, the infrastructure will be improved in a short amount of time, resulting in better trade and tourism. Also, some of the money invested will go to the buildings of new homes, so that more people will want to live in the country and will buy food and resources, boosting the economy. Algeria has taken the lead in working on issues related to the African continent by being the host of the Organization of African Unity Conference in year 2000. Algeria is known for helping Africa as a whole, so if you were to invest in Algeria, it shows that the country wants to help not only itself but others too, so you would have a good reputation.